Hello, Karen here, Emerging Soul Tarot with your weekly Tree of Life, Kabbalah Tree of Life read. As usual, I've pulled the upper three Sephirot and meditated on them. Kether, that's the crown. We've got the second Sephirot, Chokhmah, which is wisdom, and the third Sephirot, Binah, which is understanding, the cosmic womb. So that's masculine, feminine, and the line that pulls it together. I'll go through the oracle cards and then I'll pull a card for each Sephirot. Okay, so our first card, beautiful card, Cupio Dissolvi. You see that? That actually means desire to dissolve, and dissolve into soul essence. That's the actual meaning of the word. So it's a card of surrender. It's a card of letting go, a sense of letting go of our attachments to situations, letting go of control of the outcome, really, and this need to be in control, to make things safe. It's yeah, to be absorbed, really. And this is interesting in Kether, because Kether, the first Sephirot, is the absolute light, so a sense of dissolving into it. You know, and we do hang on to things. You know, if we've been hurt, we might hang on to an outcome of someone, you know, actually acknowledging the pain they've caused us. That may never happen. It's a sense that we need to forgive, enter into our heart, because that's a temple, and get the perspective, the larger perspective of what's going on. And I'm not saying this is an easy process. It's painful and difficult, but that's where mystical experience comes from. Okay, it's not, you know, divine love. The mystical experience of divine love isn't just emotion. It transfigures you. It changes, it transforms you and your life and the way you see. So this oracle is a guide to immerse yourself in the spiritual light within your heart. So it's a promise of a beautiful and uplifting outcome if we surrender and trust the process, basically. That card is. So that's our Kether. That's what's coming down from the upper Sephirot, the absolute light. Then we have Chokhmah. Chokhmah's wisdom. Okay, and it's a masculine outgoing energy, but it's wisdom, and this is discover your superpower, access 100% of your mojo. So for those of you who are used to my readings, you know, I constantly talk about dissolution, descent to soul, and shadow, and this is definitely a shadow card. So I think we get shadow mixed up, you know, because actually shadow, especially the things you're most scared of, you know, in the dark recesses of your soul when you're unconscious, are often the things that are the most, where your most powerful abilities, insights, and all your energy for living is. So the wisdom is, you know, to drop into that shadow cave. I mean, the colours of this are beautiful, and I don't think there's any mistake. It's talking about shadow, but it's every colour of the chakras, as is the third Sephirot card. So there's this beautiful sense that when we drop there, we can express, you know, have that security in divine. We can have that beautiful creativity and desire for illumination and vision, and we also gain, you know, the will to express love, compassion, empathy, kindness. But with our shadow, it's often the things that we relegated down, you know, like when we were children and we expressed something and we were rejected or made fun of, or even told off for, and we kind of repress it, never to express it again. But that shadow is part of us, you know, even if it were angry feelings, whatever it was, this is our shadow. It is the ego, our kind of personality that we present outwards, that tells us to fear facing those things we've sort of hidden away. And it's not easy, you know, sometimes we need someone to accompany us into our cave. But when you do go there, you can be transformed when you fully face that shadow aspect. And as I always say, the treasures, and all our treasures, are found in the darkness. They're not found in the light. And in that sense, with that dissolving into the light of the heart, you know, and this actual third card is about the candle, the light in the heart. We don't have a candle burning in the daytime. We don't see it. We light a candle to light up the dark. So there's that sense, in order to find that light, it resides in a dark place. So it's like finding that light in the darkness. That's where transformation happens. That's where we kind of understand the polarity of light and dark and see that it's one function. It has that one function. So there's a quote with this card, actually. I'll read it because it's beautiful, by Jacob Norby, and he says, if you ever meet someone brave and powerful enough to walk with you directly through your most unconscious wounds and shadow caves, someone with the stupefying courage to see through the chinks of your armor and then help you to take it off, love them. It's surrender again, see, because they have done something for you which is impossible to do alone. They'll show you the treasure you've been seeking all your life, and they can do this because they aren't afraid of our fear. So a real sense here with this QPO dissolve and discover your superpower, that it is a sense of the surrender of any fear we have in facing what's kind of in our deep waters. That's the message coming to us, people, this week. And then Abhina, which is the feminine inward action, kind of like the receptive, is 31, commitment. And again, showing all the chakra colours. I'm going to read Rumi's quote, because this is a Rumi deck and he just says it so much better than me. So he says, the awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire. We are candles lit by one great flame. The breath of life does not extinguish us. On the contrary, it only serves our flame to blaze brighter. Here in the temple of one love, there's no flickering or smoke to our flame. We are natural in our purpose, simply to bring the warmth and light of love to life. We dance though we're stillness. We're on fire though we do not burn. So it's that sense of safeguarding that light in our heart, and that's the actual light that is from the one light. And it's, you know, we talk about light workers, we talk about love and light, but that is the one light. So, you know, desire, there's nothing wrong with desire, okay, because it can help, it shows us our passions really and helps find our purpose. But again, this is about attachment, and if we're attached to that desire, and you know, the belief that we can only move or do things in one way, you know, one set of circumstance, and that can be a hindrance, because it can stop us seeing the real light, you know, what the light what the message is, the way forward here and now. So yeah, it's a sense of there's a way forward, okay, that needs to be seen by us all collectively. So if you've got the clarity and certainty that there are, you know, like this Kether is the absolute light, it's all light, it's the first emanation of light in creation. So there's a sense that, you know, if we open up to this energy, and it is about, you know, a light in the dark place of our heart, and finding that light, because in there resides everything. You know, the things we fear are often our greatest powers and abilities. Really, they are. So we'll pull the fourth and the fifth separate, which is Hesed and Geburah. Hesed, I'll go here. Hesed and Geburah, they're either side, okay, under these two. Hesed is loving kindness, it's boundless love, limitless love, and Geburah is the container that holds it, the feminine side, so it's the container, cosmic womb side. Okay, so Spirit, oh, right, we just need Geburah now. Can you give us Geburah, please, Spirit? Geburah, please. Thank you, Spirit. Geburah, please. Okay, so usually this is in Geburah, but this is my card for Hesed. So there may be a kind of, you know, this is open, this is union, it's an openness to this commitment. So again, a surrender and an openness. It's fire energy, and it's, keep saying it, it's the Jewish chopper, it's the place where you get married, it's also homecoming. So that energy of Geburah, that container, is home, and home is our heart. So there's that sense of it being in your heart. And we have the Page of Pentacles there. My pages, I always say, they, on the Tree of Life, they reside in Malkuth, which is our world. So for me, they're kind of a learning card. They're a messenger. You know, they're the things in life that bring us messages. So in our Hesed, which is overflowing, there's a sense that we're going to get an awful lot of messages this week that are going to help you discover and face your cave, face your shadow. Because there's a sense that there needs to be this discovery which will balance off the Geburah. You know, there'll be this homecoming to the sacred feminine within you. So we'll pull Tiferet, which is straight under Kether, midline, and Tiferet is the heart, it's Venusian energy. So Spirit, can you give me Tiferet, please? Tiferet, please. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful thing to have in our heart, the world. So there's a kind of completion here this week, the energy of completion coming from your crown straight to your heart. So a sense of an illumination. You know, we've got all the elements here. We've got air, water, earth and fire. So that sense of bringing everything full cycle. You know, our minds, our emotions, our worldly, you know, our material world, and our kind of passion and spirit. So sense of bringing the whole lot full circle this week within our heart. And that will only come through surrender, because we don't know, in a sense, the work we need to do until we surrender our heart to spirit and to that light within our heart. So pull Netzach, which is the 7th, and Hod, which is the 8th. Netzach is the outward going kind of ego, the face the face we have to use in the world to, you know, the outgoing masculine energy. Hod is the receptive feminine, but it's the intellect, the mind, so that would be visions, intuition, dreams, that kind of right brain creativity. Okay, Spirit, so can you give me the next action, Hod, please? Right, got them both. Okay. So next hatch this week, people, we've got the Four of Swords, so that is meditation, that's rest, that's the, you know, the knights in the crusade, before they went off to their crusade, they used to be dressed in white and they had to spend the night in the temple, okay, in meditation and prayer on the task they were about to set out on. So with this sense of learning and the discovering your superpower, there's a time for rest, for outgoing action this week, a sense of not just down tools and don't do anything, but finding that space in your heart to really, I mean, this is surrender position. He's on a coffin, you know, it's like those coffins of the night. So, but putting the mind down, that sword's below him, you know, he's aware of the three above him, and we know the Three of Swords is disappointment and despair and heartbreak. So I see this card as surrendering to what has been, okay, but, you know, being in a place of open meditation, openness of the heart, and however you do that to get in the zone, this is the action that's required this week in terms of receiving this energy. And it makes sense, because this is the kind of energy that is going to bring you insight into your unconscious mind. So it's a rest for the mind and a surrender in the mind. And then we have here, we have the Judgment card. So this is in Hod, so it's the feminine intellect, okay. So this is resurrection. So I'm thinking with these two, if we rest our minds, you know, stop being in our minds in the sense of trying to work it out, of our attachments, of how we want things to be, how we think they should be. If we can surrender our minds, we'll get that resurrection of that feminine energy, that intuitive visionary. There's a sense that your mind, your analytical rational mind, needs to kind of calm down so that the feminine can resurrect in that way. So really interesting energies. And this for me here is that outpouring, you know, it is homecoming. So if we're coming to the center of our heart, we're going to have an ending of this sort of mental fight, mental battle to sort all our emotions and difficulties out. These are really cards of surrender in light of these cards. So I'm going to pull Yesod and Malkuth. There's the 9th and 10th Sephiroth. Yesod is about union. It's the real, it's like the astral. So this is where the masculine and feminine join. It's this union, this kind of, you know, left brain, right brain working. It's what's coming down into the world. Malkuth is our world. It's our material world, the 10th Sephiroth. So, Spirit, can I have Yesod and Malkuth, please? Yesod and Malkuth, please. Thank you, Spirit. Yesod and Malkuth, please. Movement on the bottom, people. So, Spirit is going to bring movement to us. Yeah, look at this. So in Yesod, as I say, is the astral. It's what's above us. It's the union of masculine and feminine. And we got the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant, he's kind of like masculine version of the high priestess, but he's your inner teacher, but he's also facing out to the world, so he does represent institutions and religious institutions. But it's that sense of having your feet in both worlds. So that sense of doing your inner work, listening to your intuitive sense, listening to your visions, listening and watching for signs and synchronicities, tuning into nature, into your body this week, okay? Listening for spirit on every level of your being, okay? But also bringing that outwardly. So it's about your inner and outer energy this week, which makes sense because we have this completion here in the heart space. And what's manifesting out is this King of Wands, this mastery. And it's mastery. We talked about desires before, you know, it's mastery over those desires, okay, but also over your passions. It's also mastering that visionary faculty that we've got. So to be able to see far and wide, it's fire. So we have fire kind of expressing itself out in the world. If we submit things, you know, to what, you know, surrender, that it's really about surrendering our struggle. And it's counterintuitive because it's like surrender, trying to fight mentally, rationalizing, you know, just surrender, and then you're gonna learn how to master. But this is soul energy, so it's kind of, it works differently from how we expect it to. This is the thing with these three cards, they're all about, it's about, you know, this source intelligence. I mean, it's genius, and it doesn't, we don't understand it. The truth is there is nobody who fully understands how it works. All we can do is surrender to it. And that might be through not trying to work things out, to give your mind a rest, give your emotions rest, and just say, okay, spirit, source, whatever you call it, I surrender, you know, lead me on, and kind of laying down like that night and expecting your soul to kind of resurrect in that sense. Okay, so I'll pull us a healing card. I hope that makes sense to you. It's a beautiful read. So Spirit, any more messages for us here? Look at that. It's like gold sea. Yeah. It says trust in divine order. You are being helped. That says it all. Surrender. Surrender and trust. You don't have to work it all out. You don't have to fully understand it. When you surrender and rest, you'll be given a higher perspective. You'll see the cycles. You'll understand situations in your life, cycles in your life, why things have been the way they are. So trust in divine order. You're being helped. Alright, hope that was helpful and it resonated. If it does, you know, pop a comment in the box below, like, subscribe, share, and have a lovely, lovely week, people. Alright, lots of love. Bye bye.